4 games remain in what is shaping up to be one of the great races in recent memory in the National League. The Dodgers ahead of the Rockies by a half game. The Rockies in front early again against the Phillies. The Cubs and the Brewers both ahead in their games in the Midwest. Down to the field now, brought to you by El Pollo Loco. Here's a line.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. Only the Atlanta Braves know for certain, as far as the National League is concerned, that they are in the postseason. The NL East champs are in. There are 5 other teams in the senior circuit that are still trying to get there. You can see the playoff chase and what a wild weekend it's going to be. You can see the games remaining as far as the teams are concerned. The Cubs, Brewers, Dodgers, Rockies, Cardinals, all vying for their playoff lives, doing everything they can. Of course, if the Dodgers win out, they can control their own destiny and win that division, and will play the Atlanta Braves a wild 5 days ahead with 4 games to go.
All right, Alana, and there are some crazy potential tie-breaking scenarios that we'll be sure to dive into as this night rolls on. First, let's take a look at Dave Roberts' lineup. Jock Peterson to lead things off. Then it's Justin Turner hitting second, starting at third. Max Muncy's across the diamond at first base with Machado, Bellinger, and Puig in the heart of the lineup. Grandal does the catching, and at second base, Chris Taylor. Against Zach Greinke, 35 years old, out of Orlando. He had a couple months stretch where he was one of the best pitchers in the National League, but he's come back down to earth here in September.
His stuff has gotten a little shorter, throwing a lot more of the eephus curveballs so that he can change speeds. If he gets you with 2 strikes, he's not going to throw many strikes. He likes to walk you off the plate. The Dodgers are going to need to be disciplined.
Jock Peterson climbs in, and off we go with ball 1. And a guy that has homered against Greinke before and has started 7 different games this season by homering. On this 1-0, Peterson takes strike 1.
Jock Peterson has hit off of Zach Greinke. The velocity is down. You can't get it by you. So if you get something in the middle of the plate and can barrel it up, Jock has been hot as far as his leadoff home runs. He is not afraid to swing the bat early.
Off speed taken low. That's the first look at that eephus curveball you're talking about. Peterson takes it. He's ahead 2-1.
2 fastballs at 89, and that's where Zach is going to average, right there below 90 miles an hour. So he needs that 68-mile-an-hour curveball to change speeds.
He gets more strikes on pitches below 70 miles per hour than any pitcher in baseball, and it's not even close. More than double number 2 in the majors in that category. His 2-1. Drifts away, ball 3.
At 86, that's the changeup. So you used to see it be 94, 95. The changeup would be 89 to 91. And really, it's not really a changeup. It's more like a 2-seam fastball.
Jock Peterson leading things off. Count goes full. On that change, so really more than a change of speeds, it's a pitch that moves a lot.
Yeah, his fastball is more of a 4-seamer kind of straight, and the changeup is more of a 2-seamer that goes straight down when he throws it right.
He rocks and fires 3-2, and it gets Peterson looking to open the night.
Other than the 68-mile-an-hour curveball, everything that Zach throws visually with the television is not going to look like it's dominant. But there is something about the spin and his presentation that still mystifies hitters.
Last time he faced the Dodgers on August 31st, it was Justin Turner's home run that beat him 3-2. They given up nothing over the first 5+ in that game. Kike Hernandez homered. And then Turner opened the 8th inning with that home run. Here he takes a fastball low. It's 1-0. That was the game that started it all for the Dodgers. National League best 21-9 in their last 30 games. And that was the game that started the free fall for the Diamondbacks out of contention. Started a 6-18 slide. That's a strike, and it's 1-1.
Justin Turner has had some big hits in a Dodger uniform. This one changed this game.
It changed the season. Diamondbacks had a 1.5 game lead in the division going into that night. Turner strokes one to right center field. Socrates Brito is there. Closed captioning tonight brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Here's Muncy. Dodgers winning on Monday night by a 7-4 final, coming from behind. Came from behind a few times last night, but ultimately Eduardo Escobar. It's the game-winning walk-off home run against Kenta Maeda in a 4-3 decision. It would be one thing if the Dodgers found themselves in this stressful, tight race, having collapsed and gone into a slide. But they're 10-3 over the last 2 weeks. The bigger story is that the Rockies just refuse to lose at this point, looking for their 6th consecutive win following the sweep at Dodger Stadium.
You know, there really hasn't been an inning here that the Dodgers have looked up at the scoreboard and felt like, oh, we can gain on the Rockies. It's all about keeping pace. Their game starting earlier. They're in the 4th inning, bottom of the 4th right now. They're up 1-0. But it seems like every inning here in this series, you look up there and they're either ahead or they've won the game.
It's still 1-0, 4th inning of that game. Rockies have 2 on with nobody out. On a 1-1 pitch, Muncy cracks one up the middle. Diving stop by Ahmed, but his throw is late. That was a thing of beauty, him getting to that ball. But Muncy's able to leg out an infield single.
Absolutely ridiculous play. If you're diving to your left towards first base, you probably make an out, but diving to your right when you started on the second base side and end up on the shortstop side. He did everything he could to record an out, but just in the wrong area when he catches it.
So this first inning kept alive for Manny Machado. Hit a double last night. That's 4 straight games with an extra base hit for Manny. On the first one from Greinke, he takes low, 1-0. You know, getting hits and getting runners on wasn't the problem last night. Dodgers had 14 base runners, but went 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position and managed the 3 runs. Let's see at first, 2 out. And Machado looks at strike 1.
Everything is going to be critiqued and analyzed right down to the pitch. Getting runners over in a conventional manner, scoring a guy from third with less than 2 outs. Not walking somebody in the middle of the inning on defense. Playing clean defense, no errors.
Hard hit base hit. Back-to-back 2-out singles for the Dodgers here in the first against Greinke. And that gets Cody Bellinger to the plate against a guy that he has terrorized. We look at our Land Rover Performance Spotlight, including the Division Series last year. Cody Bellinger has 3 home runs against Greinke.
He has been swinging the bat great. Zach Greinke's actually facing a more accomplished hitter, much more veteran hitter tonight than he has here when Cody has owned him.
So Bellinger continued to grow in his approach. Well, the numbers may not match that high bar set during his rookie season. As he gets near October, there's a lot to feel good about. Coming off a game where he homered, went 2 for 4. Well played, strike 1.
Cody's spray chart is changing along with his approach, using the middle of the field more, even finding some hits over there to left field. getting a little harder to defend him. I know that looks very pull conscious, but it's definitely getting better.
It would have looked even more pull conscious in April and May. Tried to paint the outside corner again, this time missed, and it evens 1-1.
Zach needs a strike. He usually likes to throw to the center of the plate more with the off-speed stuff. He likes to use the fastball only on the edges. He knows it can't live in the middle of the strike zone with the velocity and how straight it is.
The 1-1. 1-2. Muncy and Machado back-to-back 2-out singles against Greinke. The Dodgers are facing for the 4th time this season. The 1-2. Ball 2. 4th time this season. 12th time since he left the Dodgers. Went to the Diamondbacks on that big 6-year deal. And since putting on a Diamondbacks uniform, 4-5 with an ERA around 4.5 against LA. Two. Bellinger to right center field, base hit. Getting the Dodgers on the board with a first inning 2-out rally.
One of the highest whiff percentages on off-speed stuff with 2 strikes. That's Zach Greinke. You know what? I think Cody Bellinger knows it. He looks very comfortable on this changeup. A high and away fastball to try and set that pitch up. Cody didn't commit to the heater. He stayed back and looked for the changeup.
And ripped it to right center to make it 1-0 Dodgers as Muncy comes in to score. Machado went first to third. And with 2 gone, here comes Yasiel Puig. Puig muscles a roller to Ahmed at short. And that ends the inning. But the Dodgers with 3 consecutive 2-out singles. And before Ross Stripling throws a pitch, it's 1-0. Game goes to the 5th. Let's look at the Diamondbacks lineup for this one. Ketel Marte to lead things off. Then last night's hero, Eduardo Escobar, with Peralta and Goldschmidt back-to-back 3 and 4. Socrates Brito bats 5th, starts in right. Then the center fielder Pollock with Ahmed and Mathis in front of Greinke. Against Ross Stripling, Missed most of August with back tightness. This will be his 4th start since coming back. 1-2 with a 540 over those first few.
Don't expect him to be out there for long. Dave Roberts in his pregame sound with Alana talked about he is stretched out and can go as deep as possible, but we'll watch how efficient he is. With Ross right now, the short-term results have been one time through the order, very good. The second time through the order, more home runs, and the batters hit for a much higher average.
A guy with a type of pulse, the type of personality you like in a big game like this. He starts Ketel Marte with a tailing fastball outside, 1-0. Ross has always prided himself on never allowing the moment to feel too big, never letting the stage overwhelm him. That's a strike, 1-1. So he learned a lot in the World Series last year, had a couple bumpy appearances there. He was able to channel what he learned to get off to such a good start this season and punch his ticket to the All-Star game. Now try to recapture some of that first half form and his biggest start of the season. Is 1-1 is swung on and missed, 1-2.
Ross has always been very good at sequencing his pitches. And this year, with the All-Star appearance, he's been very good at improving his pitches, the curveball and the changeup specifically.
And in the second half, he's been throwing the curveball a lot more, the slider quite a bit less. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Anybody who starts a game with such high consequences like Ross is here tonight, he knows to empty the tank on every hitter. There's no saving anything. There's no hoping I get to the 7th.
Didn't miss by much. Marte's worked it full. Diamondbacks have seen him a bunch, but that was all over the first 5 weeks of the season. 6 games before May 3rd. None since against Arizona. 5 of those 6 were out of the bullpen where he started the year. Opening batter of the game for him. A 3-2. Wow. Just misses, says Mark Pippinger. The leadoff walk for Marte.
Over the last 3 starts since coming off the DL, the walks have been up and the strikeouts have been down, but I think he got one right there. They got it wrong. That was an outstanding pitch.
So the leadoff man on, and here is last night's hero, Escobar. It is first career walk-off home run. Coming inside with the first one and getting strike 1.
Kind of a redeeming swing for Escobar last night. The ball got away from Austin Barnes a good 40 feet, and he didn't score from third base. That one swing made him feel a lot better and made the Dodgers feel a lot worse.
It's amazing how last night, not just here, but what happened in the Central as well, shifted the entire feel of the postseason picture in the National League. It was a 1.5 game lead for the Dodgers, shrunk to a half game. Same thing happened for the Cubs against the Brewers. That's outside 1-1. Suddenly you're saying, okay, wait a minute. There's a very real chance that the wild card game could be the Cubs and the Dodgers.
Cubs are ahead right now in the 6-2 over Pittsburgh, and Milwaukee is up 2-1 over St. Louis in the bottom of the 8th.
Two and 1. There's a very, at this point, feasible scenario where you'd have the Cubs and the Brewers tie for the Central, and so on Monday play game 163 to decide the division, winner to the NLDS. loser to host the wild card game. While at the same time, Dodgers-Rockies tie have to play game 163 Monday. On the ground, Turner, and the shift is there to get it to second, but the throw to first is wide. Escobar aboard on the fielder's choice. And the other thing you can throw into that equation too is it's not out of the question that the Dodgers don't just tie the Rockies but also tie the Cardinals. If that happened, the Dodgers and Rockies would play game 163 on Monday at Dodger Stadium. The winner wins the West, goes to the division series. The loser goes to St. Louis, not for the wild card game, but for the tiebreaker to be the second wild card. And in that case, you'd have to move the wild card game back a day from where it's scheduled. The winner of that game Tuesday in St. Louis would move on to the finally wild card game on Wednesday. 1-on-1 out, David Peralta. A curve for a strike. I know that's a lot. Your head's probably spinning. You're looking like Zach Galifianakis.
But there's more. Because if you win the wild card game, then you probably go on to either Milwaukee or Chicago, depending on which one is not the wild card, and won that division. 5 games in 5 days in 5 cities.
Good looking change up 0-2. Yeah. In that case, it'd be San Francisco Sunday, LA Monday, say Milwaukee or St. Louis Tuesday, Milwaukee or Chicago Wednesday, and the other of those two Thursday.
Exactly. Dodger traveling secretary Scott Akasaki's head is spinning right now.
Man, that's the toughest job. Toughest job on the team right now is trying to plan the potential travel. Got him swinging for the second out. All that said, it can all be solved by taking care of business and winning the division.
You win out, none of that happens. Dodgers have won 4 of the last 5, and the Rockies have won 5 out of the last 5, so it is very tight.
Two gone first inning. Here's Goldschmidt, who has not looked like himself lately. 1 for his last 18. First pitch curve is in for a strike. In this series, he struck out in 4 of his 5 at-bats. Other than 2.
He is just feeling for that fastball away. A very good breaking ball hitter. Loves to use the right side of the diamond. But right now, his mechanics and his vision, he is not picking up that ball away.
Going back out there with an 0-2 pitch. He is in the dirt, ball 1. Ugly bookends to this season for Paul. In late May, he was hitting 198. The middle months of the season, he was the best hitter in the National League. But fading here down the stretch. They'll look to stay away with a 1-2 and get him swinging with a sharp slider. Back-to-back Ks for Stripling to help him pitch around the leadoff walk. to lead off this second inning for the Dodgers, coming off a 3-hit game last night.
They said when he starts to walk, that's when he starts to get hot. And he has been understanding the strike zone of late, and then when he gets a strike, he has been putting good swings on it.
Yeah, last 9 games, he's walked 9 times and struck out only 5. First pitch from Zach Greinke is in there for a strike. And working with assistant hitting coach Brant Brown in recent days, just trying to shake himself loose of the slump, trying to find something that feels right. He was just trying to be extra loose, just kind of throwing his hands at the ball. Not necessarily a swing you'd ever take into the game, but more trying to unlock a feeling that he could take into his real swing. And just feeling the whip of those hands was something he was able to take into the game, into his traditional swing. For whatever reason, that's allowed it to kind of click. On a 1-1 pitch from Greinke. He swings and misses at a change, 1-2.
Tension is the enemy of batters and pitchers. You start to get tense, especially at the end of the lever system. You hold the bat tight, not going to be very good. It's not going to be accurate or fast. You hold the ball tight, not going to be accurate, not going to be fast.
Digs this one out down the right field line. Grandal stays hot, rattling into the corner. He's got a leadoff double.
Down and in is a sweet spot for him as we take a look at the Carl's cam. Little slider right there and just right into his swing. He loves that pitch.
#3, Chris Taylor.
So good at elevating things below the knees, shin high. He can still get under them.
Well, we've talked ad nauseum about how streaky Yasmani Grandal is, and wouldn't it be something if he found it in this final week? One last push for a division title. It's now 4 for his last 4, and he's in scoring position with nobody out for Chris Taylor. Taylor has seemingly found it himself. 378 in September, including that game-tying RBI double last night off of the bench. Greinke's 1-0. Went around, strike 1.
Taylor found himself at second when he drove in the run, and there were no out and a man on second, and it was him, and they didn't score him last night. Now he's the guy at the plate with Grandal at second and no outs, and you've got to figure out a way to score him, at least get him over.
Now, there were 3 different scenarios last night where they had a man at second to open the inning and couldn't bring him in. Jam foul, 1-2. Grandal off of second as Greinke comes home, and Taylor strikes out swinging, 1 away in the second.
MLB at Bat is your #1 Dodger app. Customize your experience to catch every remaining moment this season. Get Dodger home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
Ross Stripling the hitter with Grandal at second and 1 out. Dodgers in front 1-0. Stripling grounds one through the box into center for a base hit. They'll give the wave to Grandal. Pollock's throw, not in time. Ross Stripling contributes at the plate and gives the Dodgers a 2-0 lead.
Ross Stripling joins the parade of quality at-bats from Dodger pitchers. Ryu leading the charge. Kershaw's always in there. Buehler has gotten a hit, and now Stripling drives one in. Chris Woodward had to wait a long time, but pitchers don't hit it that hard to get its outfielders in time, so Chris Woodward finally gives him the sign to go. Weakly hit ground ball to the right place, can score a catcher. Pollock's arm is on line, but not in time.
Third career RBI for Ross Stripling, none bigger than that one. Bob Guerin on the phone is, looks like the Diamondbacks are going to challenge. Bob getting a report from John Pratt, the Dodger video man. Is there anything to worry about here?
You might be looking at this Grandal's foot go up in the air so it never gets to the plate. It crosses the plate, but has it ever touched the plate? Popping up in the back leg. The knee for sure touches the plate. But does the front leg ever get down before the tag hits him on the backside?
And then you start to ask the question, was he given a path to the plate?
Yeah.
Mathis has the right to go where the ball takes him while he's making the play.
This is the hard part, that if all of a sudden this call would get reversed, in the past managers would go ballistic. But it's hard to argue with New York.
Now, while we're waiting on the verdict here, we can report that the Rockies have gone up 5-0 on Philadelphia. It's not even been close during this run for the Rockies as they try to win their 6th in a row by a combined score of 38-7 at this point. All right, here's the call. He's safe. RBI stands for Ross Stripling, and it is 2-0.
In the midst of the collision of the feet and the dust that kicks up, how can you say he never touched the plate when the call in the field was already safe? So I'm sure it'll come back as stands.
Second time through the order now. Here's Jock Peterson. The work count full his first time before taking a changeup for strike 3. It's 1 of 2 for Greinke, first time through. This time he misses with his first pitch. Two and up.
If you force Zach Greinke into the strike zone and don't wander off the plate, you can make it very tough on him. He's an outstanding pitcher, understands hitters, understands what they're trying to do against him, but in understanding that, he makes you want to chase. He feasts on your aggressiveness.
And at this stage of his career, he needs you to chase. Not going to beat you in the zone anymore.
No. And if the Dodgers realize it, which so far they've done a pretty nice job of making him get the ball up if that's where they want it. They're picking on the stuff that's a strike, like Yasmani Grandal in his sweet spot.
Turns loose on a 3-0, grounds it to Marte. Twirling throw to start a double play. Well, defense up the middle has been one of the strengths all season for Arizona. Helps them finish this inning. But the Dodgers with a single run in each of the first 2 against Greinke. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try something different like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls. Only at Jack in the Box for a limited time. Dodgers 2, Diamondbacks nothing. Bottom of the second. Meanwhile in Denver. Thanks for nothing, Philadelphia. 7-0 as Trevor Story has gone deep.
Gonzalez got the first 2 RBIs with a sac fly and a 2-out base hit with a man on third. Then they had a walk. Dahl goes deep, and now Trevor Story goes deep after an Arenado home or double. They are pounding those guys.
They get to play him again tomorrow while the Dodgers are off. That's where the half-game difference in the standings right now will be made up. Socrates Brito to start the second for Arizona against Stripling. And then over the weekend, Dodgers obviously headed to San Francisco. The Rockies will welcome in the Washington Nationals, who have been playing pretty well lately. Hey, guess what? No, not gonna guess.
I know, because I'm watching it.
They scored again. Ian Desmond 2-run home run, 9-0. So that ship has sailed. Well, Dodgers trying to take care of their own business as Stripling drops in a curve for a strike. But this has kind of been how it's gone. All 6 games that the Rockies have, looks like now won following the Dodgers sweep. Blowout wins, establishing that early for the Dodgers to look up at the scoreboard and see as they play their own game. 2-1. Pulled down into the zone by Grandal, and it's 2-2.
Pretty much ends the scoreboard watching when you look up there and it's 9-0 in the bottom of the 5th. So very easy just to concentrate on your own game now that that one is not hanging in the balance.
Brito lifts one to right. That sends Puig back out of room and gone. Socrates Brito with his first home run of the season, and it cuts the Dodger lead in half.
The Diamondbacks are a completely different opponent than those Philadelphia Phillies in Colorado. These guys are scrapping. Escobar last night to put the game out of reach and to finish it off of Maeda, and here with Brito off of Stripling to pull him within 1.
First major league home run for Brito since 2016. And a 2-1 game. Here's A.J. Pollock. One and 0.
Paul Goldschmidt has been cold, but A.J. Pollock against the Dodgers, he has turned into the new Dodger killer this year. Goldie has not been himself, but Pollock sure has feasted on Dodger pitching this year.
It's a strike, 1-1. Pollock to left. Back goes Peterson at the track, off the wall. He's headed for third. Here's the throw. Offline. Homer, then a triple. And a tying run 90 feet away for Arizona.
Pollock swinging a hot bat. Looked like an up changeup. He thinks he got enough, but it's got a little top spin and ends up hitting the wall. Cody Bellinger maybe didn't break in time or stride it out over there, because Jock Peterson, I don't think, should beat Cody to this ball. And I think Pollock would have ended up at second. I couldn't see how far Cody had to come, but a lot of times you will see the center fielder or the off outfielder there before the primary outfielder on a carom like that.
That extra base with nobody out, significant thing. Here's Ahmed. Stripling misses with a first pitch curve. Ahmed going through a miserable slump, but hoping that he can break out of it against a guy that he's seen well. 4 for 6 with a home run against Stripling. Tied at 2. Puig to cut it off in the gap. Ahmed headed for second. Puig's throw is late. They've gone homer, triple, double to open the inning against Stripling.
Last 3 starts, Ross has struggled second time around in the order, but here in the first time around the order, the bottom of the order is attacking. And these Diamondbacks are not holding up when it's a should I go or not. They are pushing the envelope on the base path. Pollock getting to third on the carom in left field, and that ball right there testing Yasiel Puig in the right center gap doesn't happen all the time.
Guess they're playing like you'd expect a team to play that has nothing to lose.
They're playing with house money.
Yeah.
Monopoly money.
What's Philadelphia playing with? Rolled up newspapers?
Not much. Coupons.
Strike one on Jeff Mathis. One. Mathis, defense first catcher. And really all the catchers here for Arizona are. The very worst in baseball in offensive production out of the position. Couldn't lay off. 1-2. A 35-year-old in his 14th year with Major League time. All about intangibles, Jeff Mathis. By some measures, he's been the worst offensive player in baseball since he debuted, but he's played a decade and a half because of the other stuff he brings. On this 1-2. He dribbles it along third. Turner's got it. Throws on the move to get him. And mercifully, Stripling gets the first out of the inning as Ahmed takes third.
Well, the guy coming up is not your typical pitcher when it comes to swinging the bat.
It's Greinke. Quick exchange with his old battery mate. And Grandal spent a year together 2015. Greinke's last with the team. Grandal's first. With the infield in for Dave Roberts, Ross Stripling comes home to Greinke with a fastball that's pounded foul.
A lot of times you just study 8 hitters before you go over into a game and scouting report and get your plan with your catcher and your pitching coach. With Zach Greinke in the 9 spot, you got to study him too. And he is an ambush hitter, and he almost tried to ambush that high fastball.
Fastball taken at the knees, 0-2. What percentage of the pitchers that you'd face did you actually study as hitters?
Very few.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I did. We didn't have the data and the video capabilities and all of that. Pretty much just knew they can't hit a breaking ball.
And so with a guy like Greinke, how would you approach that? You know, the elite of the hitting pitchers.
Well, you just know he's thinking along with you, and they've gone 3 fastballs, so they're feeling that Zach is going to think along with you and look for something soft, so that you're trying to either get him to swing and miss or get him out in front, get a little rollover with the infield in. I think it's time to throw him something breaking right here, but not for a strike.
Grandal showing the target up again, which would lead to a fastball that Greinke attacks and hits into center to give the Diamondbacks the lead.
Been better off to be back in the day without the data. 4 fastballs in a row, and in the day, that's what pitchers can hit. Breaking ball you don't see, but once every 5th day to see a big league breaking ball, and you might see it for only 1 or 2 at bats. Hard to pick up. That is a cardinal sin right there to a pitcher with 2 strikes.
4th hit of the 2nd inning, still just 1 out, and back to the top for Ketel Marte. Curveball misses low. It's 1-0. Alana mentioned off of the top tonight, only the Braves have clinched a postseason spot in the National League. That is now changed because the Brewers have finished off the sweep over the Cardinals. And Milwaukee, for the first time since 2011, will play in October. Ground ball past the diving Muncy into right. What remains to be seen is, will the Brewers be a wild card team, or do they still have a chance to track down the Cubs in the division? Cubs lead 6-2 in the 7th inning. If that score holds, Milwaukee would remain a half game back.
They're hitting the ball hard and they're finding holes. Some are even creating holes in the wall. I'm real surprised that there's no action in the Dodger bullpen. I think it's going to start right here. Rick Honeycutt probably gets some action down there, and this is settle Ross down, get him locked in for the next hitter, and give some time to the bullpen. Every one of these games feels like the 7th game of the World Series, and with an off day tomorrow and 16 pitchers in the bullpen or so, there's plenty of arms and plenty of possible outs down there to start recording them on the main field.
Pedro Baez climbing atop one of the bullpen mounds. Two singles, a double, a triple, and a homer against Ross here in the 2nd. Still only 1 out. Eduardo Escobar is the batter. 1-0. Hook to right for Puig. Both runners tagging and advancing with Puig's throw going to third.
Yasiel thinking he might be able to record the third out at third base, but it also allows another runner into scoring position.
So Marte is second on Puig's throw, and David Peralta will try and make him pay for it. Struck out his first time, one of the two for Stripling so far. Second and third, two gone, and Stripling to Peralta. 1-0.
Ross Stripling has to make Peralta get himself out. Not throwing him any strikes. First base open, 2 out. Paul Goldschmidt on deck, who's completely lost, and the guy in the bullpen owns Paul Goldschmidt. So even if you think you'd be removed with a walk for the team and figuring out how to get an out here, you've got to mortgage your ego.
Ahead 1-2.
And stay there, stay on the edges or for balls to make him get himself out. Pedro Baez absolutely owns Paul Goldschmidt, and Paul Goldschmidt is lost at the plate. So the easier of the 2 outs for me is the guy on deck. And now in a 1-2 count, you got to walk him off the plate somewhere in the next 3 pitches.
On a 1-2 pitch, a curve breaks inside, and the count evens at 2-2.
It's a good shot.
Greinke at third, Marte at second. Already 3 in the bank for the Diamondbacks. On a 2-2 pitch, Peralta takes it way high, full count.
Three-two curveball in the dirt. Don't care if you walk him. Make it look like it's right down the middle and bounce it. If he's disciplined enough, with no season on the line for them and just his personal statistics with 2 ducks on the pond, if he's disciplined enough to pass the baton, let him. If he's got any anxiety about driving in those runs, he'll be swinging.
Caught a lot of the play with that. Peralta fouled it. It's a changeup, and it stays at 3-2.
Made it look like a strike, ended up almost a strike. Think about that pattern if that would have been a curveball. Right down the middle and then too low, too short. That pitch is still available.
Another 3-2. Went to the fastball and walked him. So the bases are loaded. Paul Goldschmidt's coming up. We'll see if Dave Roberts goes for Pedro Baez here, who has owned Paul Goldschmidt. Is going to start the movement into the bullpen here in the second inning. That'll need to be huge tonight to keep the Dodgers in first place as Ross Stripling goes just 1 2/3. These three, and it'll be up to Pedro Baez to keep it right there, because the Diamondbacks have the bases loaded and Paul Goldschmidt coming up.
And Pedro has had great success against Paul Goldschmidt, and even better in the equation right now is Goldschmidt is not in a good place. Very rarely would you ever walk anybody on purpose, semi-intentionally, to get to this man, but if there is a time, it is right now. And so it is set up. Bases loaded, 2 out, Paul Goldschmidt. But it's a big situation for the Dodgers, and a place where Goldschmidt has really not looked like he should have much success.
You saw the numbers there, 1 for 20 in his career against Pedro. Included last night, he hit a weak ground ball, but reached on an air against Pedro Baez. Well, 3 spot for the Diamondbacks, but a huge at-bat right here. The bigger picture of this game. Greinke at third, Marte at second, and Peralta at first. Pedro Baez quietly has been very good the last few weeks. Trying to keep it close. Here he goes. With a fastball for strike 1. A lot of Baez's dominance of Goldschmidt has come not with his slider, but with the fastball bearing in on Goldschmidt.
There are times when you have to change your sequencing against great hitters because you know they are making adjustments. But right now, I think you just go strength against strength and beat him.
That's what he's done with the first 2 pitches. Strike 2.
Facing Goldschmidt 3-4 at bats, or 2 or 3 times in a series as a reliever, you have to think along with him and mix it up. But he's in a place now, emotionally and mechanically, I don't think you need to make any adjustments. I think you just think you are better than him and beat him.
And you know, Goldschmidt knows that you've been better than him. Loaded up, 2 gone, second inning. The 0-2. Ground ball foul as he went with a slider or changeup.
It was a changeup, and that has been the path to success for Pedro Baez through these last few weeks where he's been outstanding. He has used the full pitch mix. I would have liked to seen that ball a little bit lower in an 0-2 count, but that's hard to do with a man on third. A couple of high fastballs out of the strike zone and see where we are after that. You might be sitting on the bench getting a pat on the back, or you might be in a 2-2 count.
Another 0-2. Back to the fastball to get him. Pedro Baez comes into a bases-loaded jam and strikes out Paul Goldschmidt to keep it 3-2.
Score is that way because Pedro Baez has continued to dominate Paul Goldschmidt. Fastball away for a ball, ends up a strike. Fastball away for a ball, ends up a strike. Change up, an outstanding pitch, but maybe a little too close for comfort, and then miss your spot, but beat him with the velocity. The dominance continues.
There's no pitcher better than Pedro Baez against Paul Goldschmidt in all of baseball. Now 1 for 21 against Pedro. And it remains 3-2. Still a lot of baseball to be played in this one as Justin Turner comes up, having lined to right his first time. First pitch from Zach Greinke is a fastball for a strike. One.
Greinke is not dominating, and the Arizona bullpen is reeling. So you are right. There is a lot of baseball left.
Bullpen's given up 7 runs in 8 2/3 in this series. Just a continuation of a bigger problem throughout September. Part of the reason that they've fallen off the cliff in the division. That slow curve at 66 miles per hour misses for ball 2.
It's almost a slip pitch when you have that much arm speed and throw it that slow.
What do you mean by slip pitch?
Well, if he's gripping the ball in a way to impart spin, a lot of times that takes a little firmer grip, but to make it go that slow and spin it, you actually almost have to hold it like an egg in your hand and just, you're spinning it, but it's with a very loose grip. And so you spin it, but there's a lot less velocity on it as you're getting those rotations. It's a very, very tough pitch to throw.
Here it comes with a 2-2, and a fastball is banged up the middle for a leadoff hit from Turner.
If Justin Turner is going to hit in an inning, it's going to be a good inning for the Dodgers. They're going to build the pitch count of the pitcher. They're going to have traffic probably. He is just amazing at either setting the table or driving them in.
Yeah, rarely do you have an inning where Justin Turner hits and you finish it by saying 7-pitch inning, 1, 2, 3, they go. Not that he's going to reach every time, but he's at least going to make you work. He's aboard for Muncy, who takes ball 1. Dodgers are 20 games over 500 when Justin Turner's in the lineup this year. They are 2 games below 500 when he's not. One ball, one strike. On a 1-1, Muncy pulls his hands in on a fastball that misses by a sliver. 2-1.
When Zach isn't getting that pitch and the count is 2-1 instead of 1-2, that puts him in a hole. When he had more elite velocity, it didn't matter. He could just challenge you, but now he has to pitch his way back into the counts.
It evens up 2-2. His first year in Arizona, 2016. He had one of the highest ERAs of his career. But bounced back last year, top 5 in Cy Young voting. And even though this year's been up and down, the ERA is almost identical to what it was in his bounce back season of 2017. The 35-year-old just keeps on finding a way to be effective.
You really always knew from the beginning if he was going to be healthy throughout his whole pitching career, he would figure out ways to get people out. He just understands the game and dissects the game.
Muncy with a bullet over a leaping Marte. They've got back-to-back singles and something brewing in the 3rd.
Change up, but not well located. They want it low and away, and it ends up and down the middle without much movement. And Max Muncy does a nice job. Justin Turner freezes on a line drive. The possibility of that getting caught right there, but then moves up the 90 feet to make it 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, Greinke not really fooling anybody tonight. Dodgers getting a run in each of the first 2 innings. 2 on, nobody out here in the 3rd as Machado hits. We've already got 7 hits against him.
Manny Machado hits the off-speed stuff for power. So if Zach tries to trick him and making a mistake, he could plant one in the bleachers.
One and all.
Manny with a little expression right there like fish ain't biting. I'm not chasing that.
Hate it or love it, not too many guys more confident and unafraid to show that confidence in Manny Machado. With 2 on and nobody out, he hits a high drive to left field that backs up Peralta. He's at the wall with room. Both runners tagging and advancing. 2nd and 3rd, 1 gone. Boy, hit it in the wrong spot to straightaway left, out in that triangle. Anywhere else to left field and it might be gone.
Moves the runners up. He thought he was going to move them in. It's not how hard he hit it. It's just the trajectory was too high. Right in that little triangle. 20 feet to the left or to the right. It's a home run.
He's cursing the architect right now.
That would be Buck Showalter.
His old manager. As Cody Bellinger looks at a fastball strike. Did Buck design the dimensions?
I think he had a lot to do with it. He had the runway there between the mound and home plate with the dirt. And he was a member of this organization a few years before the draft, the expansion draft. And had a lot to do with choosing of their colors of their uniforms and all kinds of stuff.
On an 0-1, Bellinger takes ball one. Cody drove in the first Dodger run with 2 gone in the first inning. He's got Turner at third and Muncy at second. Greinke brings him a 1-1 pitch. A little bit low, ball 2.
Every one of these games, the rest of the regular season and into the playoffs, if they get there, completely different than 600 at bats you'll get in the regular season. These are about the moment. You've got to have a method for the moment. And right here, it's to hit it to the right side and drive in a run.
3 balls and a strike.
Things that you develop as a pitcher and as a hitter are for the whole season. For 35 starts, for 600 at bats. But when all of a sudden it comes down to an at bat or a few pitches, he's got to know how to execute in that moment and what style you want to be and how you want to go about your business.
Instead of trying to battle back against Bellinger, they'll put him on and load the bases for Puig. No love lost between these two through the years. They did not like one another as teammates. I don't think they've gotten any closer since Greinke put on a Diamondbacks uniform. Dodgers down a run, bases loaded in the third. Puig takes ball one, chested down by Mathis.
Now see how Puig's pulse is in a different place. Normally we'd see him up there and almost semi swinging at this pitch, almost when it gets released, but you can see he is very calm, very calculated right now.
1-0. That's caught it short by Ahmed.
Yeah, see how you did everything you could do. You just can't steer it. Keep that approach. That was fantastic. Cool, calm, and collected on a curveball in the dirt. Not over swinging, getting into a hitter's count, getting a fastball up he could handle, getting the barrel on it and hitting a bullet. Can't do anything about it.
So it's up to Grandal. Bases loaded, 2 gone. Yasmani with a double his first time is 4 for his last 4. One and 0. Turner started the inning with a single. Muncy followed it with a single of his own. And Bellinger put on intentionally after Greinke fell behind him 3-1.
If Grandal forces him to throw a strike below the waist, he will kill it. He is so locked in from his thighs to his knees right now, almost anywhere on the plate. Above the waist, or a little too wide or a little too in, yeah, you can possibly get him out. His swing is really grooved right now for low strikes.
That's what he doubled on his first time. Greinke tried to throw him a slider down and in. Here he goes back to that same power changeup, but misses.
Zach doesn't have enough to intimidate you, thinking he might throw you a fastball in. Grandal knows he can get the head out on something inside. Greinke's like, I got to try and make him chase.
2-1. Ground ball, perfectly positioned Marte. They leave him loaded in the third. Two as we go to the bottom of the third, and Socrates Brito gets ready to lead things off. We look back at his last at bat, a home run on StatCast AI powered by AWS.
Clicked off 100 miles an hour on the exit velocity. It wasn't majestic, but it was far enough at 406.
Just in the heat of the tension of this race, for levity's sake, you know Socrates' middle name is Oral.
I do know that.
Socrates Oral Brito. I don't think there's too many more of those out there.
He's a one of a kind.
Strike one.
He's got one smart name and one dumb one.
Although both like to try and predict. And
yeah, that's true.
Ball and a strike.
I don't know if Socrates was paid to predict.
Whoa. Just misses. 1-1.
That's a ball. 2-1.
2-1. Yeah.
It's a little low and outside, but it's a ball.
Changing the eye levels.
He sure did. For worms. Talk about levity. Go right to Socrates Oral and you get a pitch that you probably will never see again in your life.
No swing, ball 3. And Pedro said, I provide my own levity here. Against Socrates Brito out of Azua, Dominican Republic. Celebrated his 26th birthday a couple of weeks ago. 3-2. Pollock and Ahmed to follow in this third inning. Dodgers getting 1 in the first and in the second against Greinke. Diamondbacks getting 3 in the second against Stripling. A 3-2 and a leadoff walk.
Purchase 2019 season tickets and guarantee your seats for great promotional nights and exciting matchups, including the Cubs and the Yankees. Receive 2018 postseason rights with the purchase of your 2019 season tickets. Visit Dodgers.com/season tickets.
Pollock tripled off the wall his first time. Going to be a very interesting free agent case this offseason, because when A.J. Pollock is healthy and right, the full picture, include his defense and his base running, he's as good as just about any outfielder in the National League. It's just, can he stay on the field? Flies the first pitch that he sees to center. Bellinger's there, 1 gone.
It is totally going to be in the evaluation. Plays very hard. Seems to be a little bit injury prone, but boy, you're right. When healthy, he's an MVP type of guy.
He missed 50 games last year. Groin injuries, quad injuries. You know, the broken elbow a couple years ago. Really just one fully healthy season. But when he had that healthy season, he was an all-star. 2015. 1-on-1 out for Ahmed.
Ten to nothing in the top of the 8th in Colorado. They are leading the Rockies. So you pretty much can say that the Dodgers and the Rockies are tied for first. Looking to stay up by a half a game and win this one.
Oh my goodness. That is going to be a strike. So brought the bat through. I think he got a chunk of the home plate umpire Mark Ripperger.
Foul ball maybe, or just a swing and a miss.
Thanks.
I think it might hit him in the shoulder, and he just stays in the box because he knows he swung the bat.
Yep.
He was hit by the pitch, the back right shoulder. Deflects off his shoulder right into the mask of the umpire.
Seen a couple scary moments like that in this series. Christian Walker hit in the face by a Kenta Maeda pitch that fractured his nose. Oh-1 on Nick Ahmed. Baez comes home. That's ball 1. Bouncing ball to short. Machado feeding Taylor. Turn to first in time. 6-4-3 double play to finish off the Diamondbacks in the third. has our Coors Light refreshing finish as this game goes to the middle innings. The Diamondbacks in front of the Dodgers 3-2. 8-9-1 against Zach Greinke. Chris Taylor, strike one. Struck out his first time. It's one of the two for Greinke tonight. Dodgers managing 2 runs despite 7 hits. They left the bases loaded last inning.
First inning that they haven't scored, but boy, did they have some traffic and opportunity.
Other than 2. Ross Stripling failed to make it through 2. Pedro Baez came on, finished off the Diamondbacks in the second. Faced the minimum in the third. Looking ahead to the bottom of the fourth, there is action down in the Dodger bullpen with the pitcher's spot due next. Greinke's 0-2. Gets Taylor. Second time tonight. 1 out.
Comes right back with the slider. Before Mathis even put down the signs there, the last pitch to Taylor, Greinke was shaking his head, so he was trying to get in Taylor's head, knowing he was going to come back with the same pitch. Shook his head twice, then just agreed to the original sign.
But Dave Roberts is doing everything he can to give Chase Utley an opportunity to catch fire here, finish off the regular season. But so far, since getting activated on September 1st, Chase is 0 for 17. Josh Fields, it appears, will hand to the bottom of the 4th. That's strike 1. Good job by Baez again.
A couple of veterans right here going at it. Zach doesn't have the electric stuff. So this is somebody that, as your fast twitch muscles kind of fade away and you get a little older, you start to get beat by really good fastballs inside, but that's not part of the equation right here for Chase. This is a pretty good matchup for him if he can find the right swing.
Ahead 2-1. Between the two of them, 31 years in the majors. Greinke in his 15th, Utley in his 16th. 11 All-Star games combined. Chase went to 6 of them this season. Greinke went to his 5th.
It wouldn't be a far stretch to say you've got the smartest baseball mind on the mound that's a pitcher and the smartest guy as a regular player in the box.
Guy in the box had an advantage here at 3-1.
Be hard pressed to find another combo off the top of my head.
Also maybe part of the reason Dave Roberts chooses to go with Chase Utley here. One of the few guys in baseball that can think with Zach Greinke. On a 3-1, Utley takes ball 4. Pinch hit walk for the Silver Fox, and the tying run aboard here in the 4th.
Left fielder, Jock Peterson.
Third time through. Here's Peterson.
Zach gets into a pattern and forgets about Utley because he's a little older. Chase is not afraid to figure out a way to steal a bag.
Jock 0 for 2 tonight. Soft ground ball to first. Goldschmidt's only play is at first. Now Greinke, like a lot of guys, tends to struggle when he gets to this part of the game, facing a lineup 3rd time through. The average much higher. When you look at the slugging, so when you're looking at the extra base damage against him, the number is 3rd time through about 200 points higher than the first two times through. Justin Turner helped expose that when Zach Greinke faced him on the final day of August at Dodger Stadium. As Torey Lovullo elected to have Zach Greinke face the Dodger lineup a 4th time. Turner made him pay with a game-winning homer.
You know, Joe, we talked about how intelligent Chase Utley is and Zach Greinke. Well, just on a routine out, watch Chase Utley's angle on this ground ball. He runs inside the baseline on purpose because he's trying to line himself up with Ahmed, who's coming from shortstop. Absolutely fantastic, the detail that he has played with throughout his whole career.
He's in scoring position. Justin Turner takes a first pitch strike. Turner 1 for 2 tonight. Has hit it hard both times. There's been a common problem with the offense this season. It's been their issues with runners in scoring position. And it had been better in recent weeks, but a 2 for 12 last night. 2 for 7 so far tonight. Turner takes it inside and the count evens 1-1. Across the 3 games in this series, a win on Monday, loss last night. One and two.
The last graphic showed 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. 3 hits with runners in scoring position is kind of the magic number for the Dodgers. They are 37 and 10 this year when they get 3 hits or more with runners in scoring position. Justin Turner could get him to that number.
Behind in the count here, but like we talked about last night, best hitter in baseball when he's behind.
Only one in the big leagues right now with 2 strikes on him hitting over 300.
Next pitch will be number 70 for Greinke. So they've got that going for him. Greinke and Mathis really taking a while. You got the master at second there of stealing signs. A 2-2 and a curve is tapped along third foul. Not going to take any chances.
Okay, the mastermind is on second. The guy in the box
Right.
is very smart too. they're smiling. The 3 of these guys, when they were teammates, probably dissected the opponent better than any 3 guys in uniform.
And then you got Mathis, who's catching.
Oh, he's right there with him.
Yeah.
It's like this is like playing chess. I know that he knows that I know that he knows.
Turner swings and misses, strike 3. Dodgers strand Utley at second to the bottom of the 4th, down 3-2. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Panda Express, celebrating its 35th anniversary this year. Got some brisket going. It's pretty darn good, man.
It looks really good. Brisket or corned beef?
Oh, maybe you're right.
I don't know.
Josh Fields on to pitch the bottom of the 4th. Dodgers down 3-2. All 3 runs charged to Ross Stripling in the 2nd. Pedro Baez came on for him. Was able to get out of a bases loaded jam without further damage. Put up a 0 in the 3rd, and the carousel out of that bullpen continues. A 1-0 to Jeff Mathis. 1-1.
Rockies just got their 2nd touchdown, made the extra point. It's 14-0 in the bottom of the 8th.
I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. And what are the Phillies doing? 1-2. I know that they've faded. This is going to make them 14-31 since early August, worst in the National League. But I don't know how you can look at these scores and not see just total rolling over.
They are a young team that once they fell out of it, they completely collapsed.
2-2. Here's the state of Rockies baseball right now. In the 8th inning, they have extra base RBI hits from Pat Valaika, Raimel Tapia, and Drew Butera. Butera homering. Full count on Mathis.
So they're not only winning 14-0, they're resting people and getting people in there. How many of their starters are still in? You know, Dahl was in there, and Desmond was in there, and Arenado was in there, and Blackman was in there, LeMahieu was in there.
Pop up, sky high in the infield. Turner with the call and the catch. 2 starters still in the game. Looks like Dalton left and Walters catching. 3-2 in the 4th. Here's Greinke. His RBI single in the 2nd is the difference in this game right now. Well, if you think it's stressful for the Dodgers, how about the Cubs, who have a very similar thing going on with the Brewers chasing them down, starting the day a half game back, winning earlier, just like the Dodgers started the day half game ahead of the Rockies, who are about to win. Fly to right field for Puig. Well, the Cubs had a 6-2 lead going into the 8th inning over the Pirates. They gave up 2 in the 8th and 2 in the 9th. It's tied at 6 in the bottom of the 9th. They have tonight clinched a postseason spot with the Cardinals' loss, but well, they go from looking like a sure thing to win the division to perhaps being a wild card team, depending on how things shake out this weekend. They'll play one more with the Pirates tomorrow. They have to host the Cardinals this weekend. Well, the Brewers played the Detroit Tigers to finish the year. First one to Marte. Snaps inside, ball 1. What a one. Fly ball to center field. Cody Bellinger cruises back. Josh Fields with a 1-2-3-4. To the 5th we go in Phoenix. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Energy Upgrade California and by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyota's 2018 clearance countdown is on. Get the biggest savings on an adventurous new RAV4. Back inside Chase Field, Max Muncy to start the 5th for the Dodgers, trailing 3-2. Led this game 2-0 after 1.5, but the Diamondbacks getting 3 in the bottom of the 2nd against Stripling. First pitch breaking ball lands for a strike. Muncy 2 for 2. It's 2 of the 7 hits they have, Oral, to go along with 2 walks, but 1 missed opportunities so far tonight. Breaking pitch smacked up the middle. Ahmed's got it. And they get Muncy for the first out.
Tickets for potential postseason home games at Dodger Stadium for the National League Wild Card, Division Series, and League Championship Series are on sale now. Tickets available at dodgers.com/postseason.
Machado just missed hitting a 3-run home run his last time up. After singling in the first, Greinke comes home and Machado takes ball 1.
The 1-0 count is where he gave it a ride, just a little short. First pitch slider in the last at bat for a ball. He shook his head no way and then picked on a fastball.
Threw him a changeup this time, and Machado's ahead 2-0.
Fastball changeup. Zach changing it up against a premier hitter.
On a 2-0. He takes ball 3. Bellinger on deck. We'll have the green light if he wants it. He takes it and rolls it to third. Escobar can take his time and does. 2 out.
Center fielder, Cody Bellinger.
And here comes Bellinger. To reach both times tonight. Drove in the first Dodger run in the first inning, and again has, in his couple years in the majors, hit Greinke well. 3 home runs against him. Well placed fastball to get him ahead 0-1. Took a shot at a curve and came up empty.
I think Cody's looking for it. The way he took a fastball that he could have reached on the first pitch, it's like he's been up there looking for the soft stuff right there. Big swing out in front of it.
And now on 0-2. Greinke misses with a fastball. It's 1-2. Big bouncer off of the plate along first. Greinke, it's foul. It's a foul ball, and it's still 1-2.
Only 3 great athletes involved in that play. Zach Greinke, a Gold Glover. Paul Goldschmidt, fantastic. Cody Bellinger, he can really run. All for naught because it's foul, but boy, that was well done.
Count evens 2-2. Well, the beatdown in Denver is final. 14-0 Rockies over the Phillies. And the Dodgers and Rockies tied for first. Long night of managing that bullpen. Ross Stripling going just 1 2/3 tonight. Dave Roberts and Rick Honeycutt. Game planning coordinator Danny Lehman discussing how they're going to continue to piece it together. Waited on another breaking ball and a cue shot past the bag. Bellinger beats it out. Infield single to keep the 5th inning going.
Out front, don't hit it weakly, but he can fly. Off the end of the bat, which doesn't help you get out of the box in a hurry, but once he gets his engine started, gets that stride going, he covers a lot of ground in a hurry.
So Bellinger's hustle gets Puig an opportunity here in the 5th. Remember his last time with the bases loaded. Squared it up, but right at the shortstop Ahmed. Greinke comes home and Puig takes one down the middle for a strike. Still leading baseball this month in on-base plus slugging. Buoyed by that magical 24 hours in St. Louis, but it's not just been that day. A game-winning home run against the Rockies last week. On 0-1, Puig watches a breaking ball catch the outside corner, and it's 0-2. It's
awfully wide. It was a very liberal strike. Left-handers on the mound can be deceptive to hold runners. Right-handers have to be quick. Zach Greinke has very quick feet, quick release. And then you got to be quick to home so that if they do go, give your catcher a chance.
His quick feet from his old tennis days. He was a child prodigy as a tennis player. His 0-2. He's down and away. Puig takes it for ball 1.
Zach Greinke knows when you get a wide strike call, you benefit from it in 2 ways. You get the strike, but then you've got a hitter that has to protect out there because they're worried you might get another one. So he tried to throw that slider low and away. He didn't want it quite that wide. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back out there even with a fastball off the plate. Looks like they might be going curveball.
On 1-2, it is the curve, and it's lifted weakly to left center field. Peralta calls off Pollock. We're halfway home in Phoenix. The Dodgers trail the Diamondbacks 3-2.
The fifth inning, Dodgers looking to salvage this series before heading on to San Francisco for the final series of the regular season. Time now to look ahead, brought to you by Wells Fargo. And here is the Dodgers starting rotation, the probables for that three-game set. Hyunjin Ryu will go on Friday against Madison Bumgarner of the Giants. And then Clayton Kershaw on Saturday against Derek Rodriguez, who's arguably their best pitcher right now. And then Walker Buehler will finish the season series against Suarez. Rich Hill not available to come out of the bullpen at all during that series, guys, because in the event there is a game 163 on Monday, he will be the starter.
Artelana. Scott Alexander to handle the bottom of the fifth for the Dodgers as Eduardo Escobar leads things off and takes strike one. Coming right down to it in San Francisco this weekend, while the Rockies will play host to the Washington Nationals. Nationals have won 4 of their last 5. There's a chance that Max Scherzer will start the final day of the regular season. Other than 2.
Jacob deGrom with another great outing today. 8 innings of scoreless ball, lowered his ERA to 1.70, and has a winning record with the Mets at 10-9.
Which might be his greatest accomplishment.
Yeah.
Ground ball, base hit to open the fifth.
Scott Alexander gets a lot of ground balls. Sometimes they find holes, but you stick with it, because the next one, if it's at somebody, it'll be a double play right here.
Peralta. Foul. And gonna go get a new bat.
If I remember right, Peralta's the one that uses the axe handle bats.
Yeah.
Those are very interesting when you feel them and grip them. It really does feel like the bat is going to move a little bit faster, but it also feels like it's going to come out of your hand sometimes.
David started using it after he had wrist surgery in 2016, where they had to tie the ligament back into place. Took him 6 full months to recover. Dustin Pedroia was one of the first guys to use those axe handle bats. He did it after a wrist injury as well.
Yeah, with a little narrower handle, a little less bat in your hand, probably gives your wrist a little bit more room to wiggle around. Not quite as tense.
Been kind of a tone setter for these guys much of the year. Loudest of the bunch, most energetic Diamondback. They call him the freight train. He waits on a 1-1 from Scott Alexander and looks at ball 2. Of course, Peralta's story well told at this point, going from pitching in the Cardinals system to released to independent ball as a position player for a few years, to finally getting an opportunity in affiliated ball again with the Diamondbacks. They just kind of took a flyer on him, but he tore it up in the minors and they gave him another opportunity. It's actually a young filmmaker from Venezuela that did a documentary on Peralta's story. A 2-2 and a full count. Worked at McDonald's to make money to have gas to be able to drive to his independent team. Independent team that he signed with was in Texas. He was living in Florida. So it was overnight shift at McDonald's for about a month just to save up enough for that trip to start the season. Here he strikes out and shows some of that emotion we were talking about as the first out of the fifth.
Upset that it wasn't a strike. When he had that information early, that ball was never a strike, but he was out in front, maybe guessing a little bit. Don't hurt your wrist with the bat rack there.
Oof. Goldschmidt now, who is 0 for 7 with 6 Ks in this series. Ball one.
I don't know if he was taken all the way, but that's the least amount of movement I've seen from him in the whole series as far as being calm in the box.
One on one.
A little better. It's a little bit more like Paul. Got a few unique moves that he makes from the bat off the shoulder to up to kind of bending down, but he used to get it done a lot earlier.
Sharply hit off Turner. Everybody's safe.
Yeah, he just looked a little more hitterish to me in the box. A little calmer, a little like this slump has gone on enough. I might as well just relax. Trying too hard hasn't gotten it done. So maybe relax in the box. And that was a lot more like the Paul Goldschmidt we know.
It's ruled a base hit, so they're at first and second with one out, and the hitter is Socrates Brito. Escobar at second, Goldschmidt at first. And Alexander looking for one of those ground balls that he generates as much as anybody. He's at the knees with a strike. Brito hit a home run in the second inning of this game, his first in the majors this year, and his first in the majors in 2 years.
Dropped the head on an inside slider slash cutter.
Hasn't it been odd with as big as these games are? You wouldn't expect it to be a better environment with the Diamondbacks being out of it, so you don't blame their fans for not making a lot of noise, but it is odd. And the games are so big and so quiet in here.
It's going to be different Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
No question.
You're going to hear the Beat LA chants a lot in San Francisco. Out of it or not out of it. As much as they've tried to stir a rivalry here with the Dodgers, it does not even compare to what goes on in San Francisco.
Just misses, and it evens at 2-2. Full count. You're talking about the beat LA chants that you so often hear in San Francisco. And before they even officially opened AT&T Park, so at an exhibition game before opening day there in 2000, there was a beat LA chant late in the game. It's a strikeout. Brito headed back to the dugout. They're playing Milwaukee, just a this random game, soft open for all the concessions and everything. And yeah, beat LA chant began against the Brewers in an exhibition game in late March. So yeah, I think you're right. There's going to be some kind of environment waiting for the Dodgers when they get there this weekend. And in a lost season for San Francisco, really all they have to play for is ruining their rivals' season. 2 on 2 out. Here's Pollock.
The beat LA is still echoing out over the bay from Candlestick. Just worked its way around over to AT&T.
Strike one.
There's work to be done here before we concentrate on the Giants. Get out of this inning and get the bats alive.
Boy, a very tight zone, seems like, in this half inning for Mark Ripperger.
Except for Yasiel Puig. The curveball away looked really wide, and then Yasiel flying out to left field with all the anger that he had. Snapped the bat over his knee to end the inning, but had to protect on another curveball that was out there from Greinke.
Two on, two out. 1-1 pitch. Pollock hammers the ball to center. Bellinger back. He turns. It's gone. 3-run home run, A.J. Pollock. And a 6-2 Arizona lead.
I'm sure they're watching in Colorado in the locker room, and their locker room just erupted. A.J. Pollock on a mistake up fastball, does not miss it. Straightaway center field, over the yellow line, up there close to the batter's eye.
That'll be the last pitch Alexander throws tonight. on the pitch.
The hill just got bigger for the offense to come back. And Yimi Garcia trying to hold him right there. There is enough time, but there is not enough time if the bullpen continues to fail. A.J. Pollock put a hurting on that fastball from Scott Alexander and stretched this Arizona lead.
So a pair of 3-run innings in the second against Stripling and here in the fifth against Alexander. And Ahmed to bat with the bases empty and 2 gone. Nothing and 1.
Yimi last pitched on the 22nd, so he's well rested. Only a third of an inning. His strikeout to walk ratio this year has been very good, but he hasn't avoided the big hits.
Here's his 1-1. Ahmed chops it foul. Strike 2.
Garcia will be the third hitter next inning, so this will be his inning of work if he can get through it here with this out. That's part of managing your bullpen, figuring out where you are in the batting order, how many batters you need the guy to face. Is it a crucial out, or is it just one with 2 out, nobody on, where you just want to get in the dugout? The high leverage piece earlier was Pedro Baez against Goldschmidt with 2 out, bases loaded, but here with 2 out, nobody on. Just trying to get one more out, get in the dugout, restart the offensive engine.
And if you're looking for a reason to smile, or at least feel a little bit of optimism, the Diamondbacks last year lost 5 games when leading after the 5th. This season, they've lost 20 games when leading after 5. It's been the worst bullpen in baseball this month. Ahmed went around, and that's down for the Diamondbacks in the 5th. Biggest swing of the night belongs to A.J. Pollock. His 3-run home run has the Diamondbacks ahead 6-2 as we go to the 6th.
To play baseball and softball on the field at Dodger Stadium at the Dodgers Winter Camp Series presented by your SoCal BMW Centers. Campers will train like the pros for 2 days alongside top Dodger minor league prospects. Visit Dodgers.com/camps to register.
In a 6-2 hole, it's Yasmani Grandal starting the 6th and taking a strike from Zach Greinke, who's now thrown 89 pitches. Dodgers have 2 runs on 7 hits, 2 walks, and they've stranded a bunch. 1-1.
Zach's not going to be out there much longer, but he is definitely going to check the emotions of every Dodger hitter to see if they're going to press and wander off the plate to try and make it happen without getting strikes.
Grandal, who's been seeing the ball really well lately and not doing a whole lot of chasing, is ahead 2-1.
Yasmani got his hit on a low and in breaking ball. Zach got him to ground out to second in a key situation on a changeup away. Greinke goes back to where he got the out with the changeup away right there. Ex-battery mates, it gets a little deep when you think about strategy here. In between innings, when you've been together, you're going over the opposing team's lineup. You understand and learn how each other thinks, what you default to.
Two. Got him.
Up above the waist. Zach knows he handles the low pitch.
Second baseman, Chris Taylor.
And if he'll chase the high one, you got a good chance of getting him out.
Five Ks now for Greinke. 2 of them came against Chris Taylor. New bats here with 1 out. The base is empty. One ball, no strikes. One on one. Taylor grounds one off of the hands, cutting it off at third. Escobar, 2 out. And to hit out of the pitcher's spot for Dave Roberts is Alex Verdugo.
Pinch hitting for Jimmy Garcia, number 61, Alex Verdugo.
Oh, and 1. It's an article that was written recently, kind of half jokingly. Does Zach Greinke yell swing when he pitches? Because sometimes that grunt sounds like swing. Right? You hear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a writer went around and asked a bunch of different hitters, and some said, yeah, I think he has yelled that. Others said, I don't know if he's yelled that, but he's definitely yelled other things in the middle of his delivery. The writer finally got Greinke to talk about it, and he said, "No, I've never done that." Well, your grunts sound a lot like swing, Zach. 1-2 on Verdugo.
Zach is in tune with the mind game, so I wouldn't see him admitting it, but I still think he probably does it.
Another 1-2. Verdugo chases a change, and the inning is over. To the bottom of the sixth, 6-2. Bottom of the sixth, Joe Davis or Hershiser, and they're going to have a huge comeback tonight, or they'll find themselves going into the off day tomorrow trailing the Rockies.
Yeah, 9 outs to go to get the offense going. They're going to have to hit when men are on base. They're going to have to hit if they get them around a running scoring position, and the bullpen's going to have to do the job. And the bullpen's going to have to cover 12 outs.
Latest man out of that bullpen is Ryan Madsen. Veteran against veteran here, starting the sixth. Here it comes with an 0-1 to Jeff Mathis, and it's 0-2. So again, the Rockies, as we've talked about, will play tomorrow, and so there will no longer be a half-game difference in the standings. Antonio Senzatella for the Rockies, Jake Arrieta for the Phillies, trying to put an end to this run for the Rockies, where they look like an unstoppable force at this point. 14-0 they win tonight, and over a 6-game winning streak now, outscoring their opponents 47-7. Madsen strikes Mathis out.
But the good thing for the Rockies, they don't have to change scenery. Well, they've got that good vibe going at home. I'm sure they're going to get a lot of walk-up sales with their fans, so they're going to have huge crowds for the weekend there.
John Jay to pinch hit for Zach Greinke, whose night is officially over after 6. Yeah, it's stunning that, the 6-game winning streak we're talking about for the Rockies, that comes on the heels of getting swept by the Dodgers. Completely different response, completely opposite response to what happened to the Diamondbacks when they dropped 3 in a row to the Dodgers. That's the start of the downfall for the Diamondbacks. For the Rockies, seems to have kicked them into gear.
Getting Trevor Story back. Arenado coming out of his slump. And then the pitching. Their pitching. You just said they've outscored them. They've only given up 7 runs in the 6 wins.
How about German Marquez tonight? Setting a modern day record by striking out the first 8 hitters of the game. 2-1. Philadelphia Phillies doing their best Philadelphia A's impression from some of those awful teams in the first part of the century under Connie Mack. 2-2. This is a Phillies team that was 2 games off of the very best record in the National League before this 2-month slide. That was one of the tough questions to try and figure out coming out of the All-Star break. Who is going to win the East? Back-to-back Ks for Matson to open the 6th. Would the Nationals come from behind? And if not, would it be the Braves or would it be the Phillies? And I think if you had polled 10 smart baseball people, you probably would have gotten 5 to tell you the Braves, but 5 to tell you the Phillies. Marte with 2 out. Strike 1. Hustled into center for a 2-out hit. Marte headed for second. Bellinger's throw not in time. Didn't take his eyes off Bellinger. Cody had a hard time picking it up. Marte took advantage.
Early in the game, we said that the Diamondbacks were really pushing the envelope on the base path. Pollock has done it. And Marte not just playing out the string, but pushing himself. A little bobble costs you 90 feet.
And it is ruled as such. A single for Marte, taking second on an E8. Escobar trying to add to the lead with 2 gone here in the 6th. Good movement on that at 97 for strike 1. Probably the best we've seen Matson look in a Dodger uniform.
Throwing a lot of strikes and looks very aggressive and confident.
Weak pop fly, right center field. Long way to go for everybody involved. Bellinger takes charge and puts it away to finish the Diamondbacks in the 6th. Built for Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Dodgers trying to continue this bullpen's bad stretch. Giving up 7 runs over 8 2/3 in this series. And in September, they're the worst bullpen in baseball.
There is a chance, and if you can just get the engine started, put them on their heels, they're going to remember how bad they have thrown, and they could start thinking, here we go again.
Jake Diekman picked up prior to the trade deadline from Texas. Pitched in the first game in this series. 1-1, 2-3. Pinch hitting is Kike Hernandez. Fouls off the first one. In for Jock Peterson with the left-hander now on the mound. Kike, an interesting case as we discussed yesterday. Traditionally, you play against left-handed pitching if you're looking at a strict platoon. But he's been much better this year against right-handed pitchers. So he's seen time against them as well. Pops out to Marte for the first out of the 7th. It's Turner.
Third baseman, Justin Turner.
One and 0.
Right about now, you're just looking for something to build on, something to cheer about so that your cheering is not hollow. These guys are all locked in, but you need something positive from the batter's box to happen to kind of rally the troops.
It's gone to 3-0 on Justin Turner.
Justin knows his role right here. Even if he hits a 3-0 pitch out with a green light, it's not a big dent. He's looking maybe to take a pitch or two, unless it's exactly where he wants it.
Needed some base runners with his 4-run deficit. He takes a strike, 3-1. The heart of the order coming up after him.
You can get it exactly where you want, put a great swing on it, and still hit a line out. So there's better odds on getting the free pass.
On a 3-1, Turner watches a perfect pitch, 3-2.
He was taken all the way, the last 2.
Three balls and 2 strikes. Diekman comes home, and Turner swats one foul. Best hitter in baseball since the All-Star break. Dodgers would not be in this position without him. All you need to do for proof of that is look at the 16-26 start, much of it without him. Again, fouls off 2-strike pitch, still 3-2. That 16-26 start. It's easy to forget, but that was the worst start in franchise history since the team moved to Los Angeles. They've had the best record in the National League since then. Turner fouls it again. So given that context, given the fact that they were 10 games below 500 in late May, right now it feels a little bit like it's slipping away. But the fact that they're right here tied for first at the moment with 3 games remaining after tonight. When you consider the rotten start they get off to, it's something to appreciate. It's 4 consecutive fouls. It's not any consolation. It's just worth reminding yourself.
Well, and they did a lot of great things with some injured components, especially that starting rotation. You know, Justin Turner early, of course, but boy, Ross Stripling making the All-Star team, rescued the rotation, the growth of Walker Buehler. Ryu was amazing until he got hurt.
Fly to right field, 10-pitch battle, but it ends on a fly out to Brito.
First baseman, Max Muncy.
Hope for a comeback here, but even if they're unable to come from behind, there's a chance with the Rockies' loss tomorrow that you still technically control your own destiny.
If this score holds, they'll, at the end of tonight, they'll be a half a game into the wild card game.
Yeah, I'm talking control your own destiny as far as the division still, if the Rockies were to lose tomorrow.
Right. Still a lot of scenarios.
Sure are. They seem to be changing every time you check the scoreboard, which right now is good news for Dodger fans, that things continue to change. 1 ball, 1 strike on Max Muncy. Breaks in for a strike 1 and 2. Cubs, by the way, wound up winning that game after blowing the 6-2 lead. They beat the Pirates 7-6 and maintain a half-game advantage over the Brewers in the Central. Brewers running away with home field in the wild card, if that's where they wind up. Muncy strokes a slicing 1 hopper to the left side and can't quite beat it out at first. We stretch in Phoenix. They led this game 2-0 at one point. They trail it 6-2.
Backstage Dodgers go behind the scenes with Matt Kemp as he spends an off day at Jimmy Kimmel Live. Plus, follow Jock Peterson to the Louisville Slugger factory in Kentucky. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
To the bottom of the 7th inning, it's Caleb Ferguson.
Caleb has grown up right before our very eyes, and he has done an outstanding job, and especially out of the bullpen. But don't count him out as a component or a prospect for the rotation next year.
Wow, Peralta pounces on the first pitch. A majestic drive. Where will this one go? 7-2 Diamondbacks. 30th of the season for Peralta.
Caleb Ferguson, first pitch fastball, 95, 96 miles an hour. It's down the middle of the plate, and he knew it. That swing, that sound, you don't even need to watch.
And a strike on Goldschmidt. I know you've talked a couple times about what Caleb Ferguson has learned this season from pitching out of the bullpen. If he does transition back into the rotation, that he'll be able to apply in that role.
And one thing you really appreciate about him, first and foremost, is the great arm, but then the makeup on the mound, all the strike, the highest strike percentage coming out of the Dodger bullpen. And that's one of the things there that Peralta was counting on too. I'm going to get a strike. I'm going to start the bat.
1-2.
A lot of easy outs when guys will take that approach to you if you hit your spot. But if you miss, like that pitch, it has a chance to go a long way.
Ferguson to Goldschmidt with a 2-2. Driven to right center field. Bellinger dead sprint to get there for the first out. There just haven't been too many opportunities for Cody to really show off how well he can close on balls in the gap, but that was a good chance there.
That was a real special route from a very special player. The speed, the athleticism, sure hands, and then protecting himself with that little pop-up slide on the warning track. Very classy.
Brito now. A little dribbler to Turner. 2 gone.
Center field.
7-2 game here in the 7th as A.J. Pollock comes up. When we look back at the top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. In the 5th inning against Scott Alexander, he took a 3-2 game and made it 6-2 with his home run.
Before that swing, it felt like there was a lot of time to climb back in the game, only down by 1, but Pollock changed that.
Takes the ball here. And now a strike, 1-1. Chop to Turner. Nice play on a short hop. And that's the inning. Diamondbacks add one as Peralta hits his 30th home run this year. To the 8th we go.
And it's time to take out your Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation 50 raffle tickets. Supported
For a preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thanks, Joe. The good news is that the Dodgers' wild card magic number is down to 3 after the Cardinals lost. But, Jerry, if the Dodgers want to win the division, they have a lot of work to do.
You know, still holding out hope, but it's getting late.
These two guys will break it down after the game. Alana has a reaction from the clubhouse. We'll see you soon.
Okay, John. Manny Machado to start this 8th for the Dodgers. Brad Ziegler on to pitch it for Arizona. And he's in there with strike one. Dodgers only 1 hit over the last 4 innings, after they had 7 hits over the first 3. Led this game 2-0. Arizona, though, getting 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 5th, and then 1 more last inning on that home run against Ferguson. 1-2.
Ziegler got a blown save in game 1 of this series. He faced Machado, and he drove in a run with a ground out.
Punch to second. Marte throws him out.
center fielder Cody Bellinger.
And now Bellinger. If you're a Dodger tomorrow on the off day in San Francisco, are you just trying to get away from it all? Are you taking one last deep breath? Are you watching the Rockies game around lunch? How are you spending your off day?
I think everybody's going to have a little different take on it. Knowing our guys as intent as they are on winning, I think very few will get away from it. I think they will watch the game either on TV or on their phones.
Some will even be at the ballpark, certainly, getting work in.
A lot of them have their family or wives with them, so we'll probably have a day with them, a couple nice meals. Anybody who needs treatment or maybe even wants to hit a little bit or come out to the park and play catch, the ballpark will be available. Staff will be there for them for a certain amount of time, maybe 2 to 3 hours. There'll be a window.
A deep breath and one last push. This misses 2-2. Two gone. If this score holds, the Dodgers on Friday will either be a game back of the Rockies or tied with the Rockies. So that means the Dodgers at this point, again, if this score holds, wouldn't be able to clinch the division outright until the final day. If they were able to do that, that would be historic. Since moving to Los Angeles, when it's decided by one game, the Dodgers are 0-6. Puig shoots one to right center field. Pollock on the move to flag it down. And they go down in order in the 8th. Look at it on our Nissan Dodger calendar. Off day tomorrow, 3 in San Francisco this weekend. The Giants right now trail the Padres 3-2. If that score holds, Dodgers will be facing a Giants team in the month of September that is 5-18. At Venditti on to pitch the 8th. But you know they'll gear up and give the Dodgers everything they've got, trying to play spoiler. Dave Roberts' team in danger of dropping back-to-back games after taking the opener of this series and falling out of first place. There have been a couple times the roles have been reversed in the long history of the Dodgers and Giants rivalry. You were a part of one of those times. 1993, Giants and Braves both won 103 games going into the final day of the season. Braves beat the Rockies. Giants needed to beat you guys at Dodger Stadium on that final afternoon to force a one-game playoff with Atlanta. But a 12-1 Dodger win. Kevin Gross complete game. A couple home runs from Mike Piazza. It's 2-0 on Nick Ahmed. Famously, before the game, Tommy Lasorda and the GM Fred Claire through a team meeting, and it was the message in there.
It was a history lesson on the Dodger-Giant rivalry all the way back to New York, and then it was a motivational speech. Fred gave a lot of the history lesson, and then Tommy gave the motivational speech to get everybody up for that last game of the season, and that it was our responsibility as the members of this generation of Dodgers to beat the Giants. And we were wired up.
At 80 and 81 at that point. So as far as in the standings, nothing to play for the pride that comes with being part of that rivalry.
That kind of energy, that kind of negative motivation of what to do to your arch rival, no matter what it means to you, I think that will be in the Giants' hearts and eyes the next 3 games. It was a very good Giants team to win all those games with Matt Williams and Robbie Thompson and Will Clark. Bob Brenly sitting next to us was the bullpen coach for the Giants. We were kind of reliving a little bit of that year and some of those stories before the game.
It's one of the great teams of all time to miss the postseason. 103 wins.
It will be very intense in San Francisco Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Leadoff walk for Ahmed.
The Giants will first and foremost want to beat you, and then they'll second and foremost not want you to win the division, and they'll want to even try and knock you out of the wild card. To the point that they've changed the rotation, right?
Yeah, Madison Bumgarner going Friday night, as Alana told us. Derek Rodriguez Saturday. Andrew Suarez on Sunday. Leadoff man aboard. Here's Jeff Mathis looking at a strike. You know, that 93 final day of the season, that was the first opportunity the Dodgers had to spoil the Giants on the final day since 1934. Well, it was a kind of a similar situation. Giants were trying to repeat as world champions. They won it in 1933. And they entered the final weekend tied with the Cardinals for first. So in that setup in the schedule, it was a 2-game series, a Saturday and a Sunday at the Polo Grounds. Giants welcoming in the Dodgers. Dodgers were 24 games out of first place. Just a horrible team. But sure enough, they go into the Polo Grounds, beat the Giants twice, and the Cardinals wind up winning the pennant. 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. That one was a little bit extra satisfying for the Dodgers and for the Brooklyn fans. You know, there's already a big-time edge for Brooklyn fans in that rivalry against New York. But because of something that happened before the year, it's a great play by Justin Turner. 5, 4, 3 around the horn for a double play. So before the year, Bill Terry was the manager of the Giants, and somebody had asked him, a reporter had asked his take on the National League going into that season. He mentioned the 3 teams that he figured would be at the top, neglected to mention the Dodgers, and so somebody followed up and said, well, what about across town? What about the Dodgers? And Bill Terry's response was, Brooklyn, are they still in the league?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they didn't soon forget that. So it was kind of payback on those final 2 days in 1934. Amaro Vargas with the bases empty and 2 gone. He was actually, Bill Terry was offered the Dodger job years later but it would have meant a significant pay cut from his new job running a Buick dealership in Florida, so he turned it down. The Dodgers instead hired Walter Alston to begin his 23-year run
of one-year contracts.
All one-year deals.
Could always fall back and be a car dealer.
Generous bottom part of the zone, and it's 1-2. A quick pitch. Puig dashing forward to make the catch. Through with 8 in Phoenix. 7-2 on to the 9th.
All right, D-backs fans.
Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your SoCal Land Rover retailers. And then into Chase Field, Archie Bradley on to pitch. Good looking shoes on Archie as he pitches with a 7-2 lead. The Diamondbacks 3 outs away from their first series win in more than a month. Strike 1 on the Yasmani Grandal. One ball, one strike. One and 2.
Grinding it out, looking for a spark.
On a bounce into the shift for the first out.
A couple of ground outs to second tonight, but still looks locked in.
Andrew Tolles will bat.
Pitch hitting, number 60, Andrew Tolles.
Now, Vin Scully, who started calling Dodger games in 1950, often talked about how throughout the team's history, all the way back into the days in Brooklyn, it was never easy. Rarely did they cruise to a pennant. Rarely were there not bumps in the road, drama late. Certainly not easy this time around. A couple outs away from entering the final 4 days of the season, a half game back of the Rockies. Headed to San Francisco to play their arch rivals with their season on the line. A pop-up. Peralta. Kemp to pitch hit.
Right about now on that bench, you feel like you've been punched in the stomach. And the off day tomorrow could be a very good day. A day away from the ballpark, and maybe the Rockies lose, and then you're really focused for 3 being tied.
Kemp with a ground ball, base hit into center.
You never know what tomorrow's going to bring. You got to deal with what happened here tonight, but refocus by Friday.
Left field, Dave Hernandez.
Small bites are not going to get this done. They need a big meal right here with 2 outs.
Bradley fires in a strike. Diamondbacks will head off to San Diego, finish their season at Petco. 3 games of the Padres. Bouncing ball foul, 0-2. And the Diamondbacks would kill to be within a half game of first place. Kill to be falling out of first place today, but with a chance going into the weekend. And probably had you told the 16 and 26 Dodgers that, they would have taken it too. Bradley's 0-2. Two and 2 on Kike. That's it. The Dodgers drop 2 of 3 against Arizona and fall out of first place. With 3 games remaining, they trail the Colorado Rockies by a half game in the West.
2 stings tonight. The sting of the loss and the sting that it's no longer in your hand. Your fate is not in your hand. They're going to have to hope Philadelphia wakes up or really go into San Francisco and win all 3 games.
They are in position to play in the wild card game. A game ahead of the Cardinals for the 2nd wild card spot. Time now for the play of the game, brought to you by Lexus. A.J. Pollock with a 3-run